What's up, YouTube? Welcome to part 15. I can't believe we're already at part 15. Wild. We are something like 37 hours into the game. And I appreciate that you've been alongside me for all of it. As always, as we get started, if you don't want to listen to the rest of this spiel, you could occupy yourself by giving the stream a thumbs up, by subscribing if you don't already, by following me on Twitch, checking out the links in the description, all that fun stuff. Thank you to those of you who comment on my videos, who, whether it's to share your own thoughts or to compliment me or to give me constructive feedback or whatever. I appreciate reading the comments. I do read all of them. I don't respond to all of them, but I do read all of them. So if you're a member on YouTube by hitting the join button, thank you very much for that as well. I'm live on Twitch at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, and you can usually catch me depending on the day. Live 6 days a week. And yeah, thanks for all your support. Appreciate you being here, and now we get to decide where we want to go after all the craziness that was part 14. Eric, thank you for the 1 year. Appreciate it, friend. Thanks for the sub. All right, where do I want to go tonight? It's a great question. Let's take a look at... I know that there's a lot of stuff to do in Denerim, but I don't know that I want to go to Denerim yet. I want to see what we can knock out before we do that, and I think we might go to Sultry's Pass. Journey to Sultry's Pass, where a troubled merchant awaits with a deal that might just be too good to be true. That sounds interesting. So let's go do that. I'm gonna take the usual suspects.
Yes.
And we are gonna go to Sultry's Pass. Although the route is more treacherous than Garland's Pass to the north, Sultry's Pass can shave more than 2 days' travel off the journey to Orlais. Oh, baby. And who will we have to battle on our way there? No, this isn't about to be a clean walk. Or maybe it is. Oh! Alright. Let's take a look around, huh? Who's this guy?
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
Yeah, part of your problem? What's the rest of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and
Grosbois.
entrepreneur at your service.
Nice. What's up, man? I'm Mick. Nice to meet you.
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
It depends on what you need, man. How would you like me to help you
Of
out?
all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
A control rod for a golem. What does that do, exactly?
The dwarf I brought it from said it activates and controls a golem. So long as you have it in your hand, the golem does what you say. Might be useful, no? I mean, you look like the sort who could use one, yes?
Bet it could tank better than Zevron. What's the catch?
The catch? Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the Golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
I don't fully understand this guy's investment in me getting the Golem. Like, what does he care? He's got the control rod. Why is he going to give it to me to go control the Golem? Like, that seems a little bit odd. How do I know this is going to even work?
The fellow I brought it from is a long-standing contact. He didn't want to come to Ferelden, however, with all our... troubles. He said he got it from the man who owned this Golem. But to be honest, I have no idea if it will work. Hence the low price. Ooh, what do you say?
Oh, God. Oh, what do I have to lose other than, like, a Golem going absolutely haywire and attacking me? Like, I don't know enough about this. I wish I was a dwarf. How much do you want for it?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
Alright.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the Golem down south, in a town called Honleith. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the Golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
What? What? And if it does... Holy shit, man. Oh, we're taking a big risk here. What if I hold it up and that's like... That just tells the Golem, come attack me. I have the rod, just come beat me up, or like terrorizes this town. Holy shit, man. We're like... There's been too much bullshit that's happened in this country for me to believe that this is just gonna be like, oh neat, I've got a Golem now. And if it doesn't work,
maybe you could look up the fellow who owned the Golem before, if he's still about, that is. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
I don't know, man. I almost would have rather found your mule for you, bud, but alright. What do you say, team? You and your hats. You ready to go find the Golem? Oh, this is really gonna be something. Pretty sure you could outrun it? I admire the confidence. Yeah, I thought we were gonna be fetching a mule as well. Honleith. A remote village where an old golem supposedly lies waiting to be claimed. Boy. Of course we gotta fight somebody on our way there.
How did a child survive that? The crater is still smoking. It's a boy. 5 fingers, 5 toes. That's all that matters to me. The Maker has answered our prayers. Let's go home, Marta, and raise the tyke as our own.
Isle of Ore. Meteor metal ore. This hunk of rock fell from the sky. Perhaps the last remnant of another world fall off in the sky. If you could find a smith with the skill to temper it. The hell? Well, maybe I'll get some cool armor from that. Alright, the village of Honleith. How welcoming will... What? How welcoming will this town be, he says, as he walks underneath. People hanging and running away from the town. If I took inventory for 5... This is off to a terrible start. If I took inventory for like 5 seconds, that would tell me that this is just not great. This has real turn back vibes right now. Okay. Oh, he did say there would be darkspawn here, I guess. Oh, man. They're just really into Halloween. Yes, that's what it is. Yes. Oh my god, man. I really shouldn't even be laughing. Like, this is terrible. God. Now, if I was a stone golem hiding in this city, where would I be? Alright, there we go. Get rid of this guy. He's all berserk. Everyone just going off on his own. This is why he dies all the time. He just goes off and aggroes everybody individually. Alright, good stuff. One thing we do well, it's slay darkspawn.
Yes.
I mean, what a lovely town, aside from the darkspawn and hanging humans.
All right.
Whole building fell down? What the hell? Oh, that's a lot of darkspawn. Wow, that's a lot of darkspawn. Try to aggro as much of them as I can. Take out the alpha. Holy shit. Alright, we're a little too spread out here, friends. Oh, there's the golem. Oh, cool. You know, the hardest thing about this game is climbing the final step. Liliana. Bloodied bronze key. Dried blood clings to this heavy iron key. You found it in Hanleith, tucked in the pocket of a dead villager. Give him the old pat down. Heavy chainmail. Red steel. Now I'm curious about what that key opens. Wilhelm Cellar. Let's activate the golem. I got to be a golem a little while ago. Continue.
It looks like a golem, doesn't it? An actual golem, and not a statue at all. I wonder how it ended up here of all places.
On closer inspection, you see that the statue is embedded with numerous crystals, some of them cracked. It may be of dwarven make. Dulifgar, let's see what happens. Oh boy, this could be our undoing here. Nothing happens. Apparently, either the rod is not working or the code word's incorrect. Oh, that's fun. Try it one more time. Maybe I just didn't pronounce it correctly. Dulifgar. Well, fine then. Don't work then. Why is nothing ever more, like, so simple? Let's see if there's anything in old Wilhelm's cellar, you know? Maybe a little codex that tells me a better way to activate a golem. Strange crystal cluster. Well, would you look at that? Shit. Rip. Ace, not interested. Oh, what's up, Dark Spawn? God, you guys are everywhere. Like fruit flies. Right hand's unassuming metal shards can be used to make deadly traps. Oh, I don't care about that, but whatever. Garnet. Sell. Poultice is always useful. Chainmail boots, not interested. Charred corpse. Malachite. Malachite. I always want to say malachite. Stupid H. Barrel. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Some old cobwebs over here. This is a hell of a cellar. Little messed up room there. Another dead guy. Look at all this. This is awesome. Top stair. I'm telling you, man. Should have seen that coming. Alright. It's fine. We'll kill the resolution if we need to. I mean, I saved pretty shortly after that. Yeah. Just have to loot again. I mean, that room, anytime a room is kind of getting goofy, it's usually a good sign that I need to save. So, like, it's not messed up now, so hopefully we're okay. You gotta die, but Mr. Emissary. Zebran, buddy. trapped in this, like, energy beam hallway. Dark spawn staff. Glowing crystal. Large, clear, natural crystal. Really cool basement. Aside from the people being held captive by a magic barrier. I'll be with you folks in a moment. Just hold on a second. I don't know that I can... A decade-old letter. Decades-old letter. Madam, I can assure you that the Circle of Magi is not a sacrilegious institution, and that, indeed, we operate under the supervision of the Chantry. It would make our investigation of your husband's death much easier if you would simply cooperate with us. I'm disappointed to hear that you sold the Golem's activation rod. I understand both it and your husband were of invaluable aid to King Marek during the war against Orlais. Without the rod, we cannot discern whether Wilhelm's Golem was responsible for his murder. The Golem will simply have to remain where it is unless the villagers can find a means to destroy it. Our condolences to you and your son for your loss. I imagine it is a little consolation to you, but your husband is much admired here and will be missed. Maker keep you. Golem's been there a long-ass time. Look at this. There's like schematics and stuff for it. Imagine being the people in that force field. Like this, like you've been here for Lord knows how long. You've been stuck behind this barrier. There's darkspawn on the other side of it, and this party comes in, slays all the darkspawn, and then just goes around and looks at the room without even attending to you. You're like, yo, help us, please. We've been down here forever. What happened here?
By the Maker, we're saved.
Oh, I don't know who you are.
You weren't sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
I was not sent... Well, I was sent by one person, so that's kind of a lie. I'm looking for whoever owned that statue outside.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for shale.
Also, is this guy like an apostate? Because, like, he literally just used magic. And he's not in the tower.
That damnable Golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance.
Killed your father? What do you mean?
My father's name was Wilhelm. Mage to the Isles of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais. And what did he get? One day, my mother found him outside the tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and shale standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake Shale up, well, it's yours now.
Guessing Shale is the name of the statue. I want to get as much information as I can. I'm curious about this place, actually. Where are we?
This was my father's laboratory, beneath his tower. Or it was, anyhow. Look, I know you probably have more important things on your mind, but I really need your help. I know you already saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
What killed this man who went after her?
There are defenses my father put down here to keep strangers out. I knew about the barrier, I had the key for that, but the rest of it, well, we never came down here. Ever.
Okay. How do you know she's... That's a harsh question to ask him. Because he doesn't know. Like, there's no way he knows the answer to that. So yeah, let me see if I can find her.
You will? Thank the Maker! My father's laboratory is just past the next area, I think. She has to be there.
Try it, man, but no promises.
Why won't she come back, or at least yell out? I don't understand!
Tell me anything about the defenses?
Not really. We never came down here after my father died. My mother was too frightened. The barrier was supposed to keep most people out, and those who got past it dealt with whatever lies ahead. I can only imagine what my father was doing that he needed to be so careful. I'm not sure I want to know.
That's fair. Can you tell me more about your dad?
I was so young when he died, I hardly remember. All I know is he was a fine mage and a healer. What he needed this laboratory for, or why the circle of Magi let him be out here, I honestly have no idea.
That would have been my question, and this guy obviously learned magic somehow for being able to put that barrier up. What do you remember about the Golem?
Almost nothing. It used to be bigger, I think. Aside from that, it was just a walking statue. Father said it talked, but I never heard it. Mother tried to have it destroyed, but no luck. I think that's when she sold the rod, but no one ever came to claim it.
Interesting. All right.
Please hurry!
All right, I'll go get her. I'll go get her. We do not have a good track record with kids. He doesn't need to know that, though. Oh, wow. There's, okay. That was a bad noise. Okay. If she's alive, then she's got some, like, she's more than just a normal, oh, boy. Okay. Wow, we haven't seen this. A dust wraith. Be interested to read about that. Boy, I hope this daughter's strong because, holy crap. Harvest Festival Ring. Ooh. Strength, dexterity, and attack. Yes, please. Let's check the codex. I want to read about that thing we just came across. Ashraith. Legend has it that when Andraste's ashes were taken into hiding, some of her closest disciples gave themselves to the fire, that their restless souls might remain to guard her final resting place forever. Whether they are the spirits of Andraste's disciples or merely Fade spirits, the temple that houses the sacred urn is filled with wraiths. Created from a burnt corpse, an Ashraith is a powerful and amorphous opponent, able to lash and smother while being immune to most physical attacks. Even if successfully dispersed, it can reform at a later time. Magic is the only real way to fight such a creature, wind and ice attacks being the most useful. They are capable of creating small whirlwinds that are devastating to anyone unfortunate enough to get close, and their touch leaves a person drained. So they're not very fun at parties. A book. The Journal of Enchanter Wilhelm. Yes, please. 13 Pluitanus. The interrogation of the demon is going well, and it is rather fascinating, provided that what it is saying is true. I have sent all my research so far to First Enchanter Arden, and while he is concerned about my safety, he does not think there is a reason to stop just yet. All I hope is that the Templars do not discover what I'm doing. How will we ever find another way to deal with demonic possession if the Chantry does not let us research it? Oh, shit. So this guy's like having conversations with demons. Oh, man. And he's not doing that within the jurisdiction of the tower? Woo! All right. 20 Eluviesta. Young Matthias nearly wandered down here again today, and this time I forgot to leave the barrier up. I believe I will key the defenses to ignore anyone of my blood. I would rather have the boy stumble into the laboratory than have him killed by my forgetfulness. Poor lad, all he wants is to know why his father spends so much time beneath the tower. I'll spend more time with him soon, I swear it. Oh, wow. 28, Eluviesta. Shale is acting strangely. I wonder if I should discontinue my experiments upon it. I'm so near a breakthrough, I'm certain. Perhaps it's best if I focus on the demon. 2. Matronalis. The demon almost managed to get away again. Tricky. I shall have to be more careful. Young Eamon sent a letter asking me to return to Redcliffe. I shall have to consider it soon. Wow, we got a lot of shit connecting right now. 11. Matronalis. Could it be? What an intriguing discovery, especially considering that the demon was attempting to keep me from it at all costs. Or did it lead me to that information by seeming to deny it from me? I must discover the truth. 19. Umbralia. I think it is time to dismiss this demon. It is too dangerous for me to continue holding it, and I cannot discount the possibility that it is having some influence over the Golem. Or is it my experiments? I will try to deactivate Shale for the time being, and then deal with the demon once and for all. Let it end here. There are no further entries. From the Journal of Enchanted Wilhelm Solsbacher. Wow, so this guy's doing experiments on a demon and trying to talk to a demon, all the while trying to activate this golem. Perhaps maybe even created it. Wonder if maybe like the golem's impervious to demon bullshit because he's not made out of organic matter or something like that. Interesting. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about that.
Yes.
Character's experience using a shield in combat has made certain abilities more efficient, increasing defense bonus for the shield defense and making the character immune to direct knockdown attacks while using the shield wall. He's still level 11. Alistair, let's get you leveled up, buddy. The music down here sounds similar to the music on the Citadel in Mass Effect, and I keep feeling like I'm in the Citadel. Strange crystal cluster. You sell well, I know that. Man, that poor kid. So that guy didn't really ever get to hear from his dad because he never saw what he was doing because his dad was so locked up in his work. Bummer for him.
What do you mean you've never climbed a tree? Don't cats like to be in trees? Oh look, someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
Just a hunch. And this is unfortunate for her, but I'll bet that's the demon. Like, that feels very demon-y to me. What better way to be able to continue to coexist than to be a young, unassuming girl who talks to cats? Like, because how does that little girl get past all those shades that we just had to fight tooth and nail to get past? I'm not saying she's a demon, but this is how demons affect the meta psyche of everybody in Ferelden, right? Like, we know they exist, so because we know that they exist, we're messed up when we have new encounters like this. Like, this could totally just be like a young girl who's just totally chill or something like that. Didn't see the shades while she was walking down here. But this feels... But, like, because this feels weird to me, I'm like, oh god, are we talking demon? The cat's staring into our soul right now, too. Oh, man. Who is we? I'm not gonna play too hard into the fact that, like, oh, this is a girl, it's totally fine. Like, I'm gonna be somewhat standoffish here to see how she reacts to it. Who's we?
Kitty and me, of course. You don't see anyone else here, do you? Anyway, you should go if you're not going to play. Kitty finds you distracting.
Sure, let's leave. You can bring the cat.
I can't go. Kitty says she can't come, and I'm not leaving her. She'd be lonely.
You are so kind, Amalia. I would miss you dearly if you left.
Oh. Okay. Cat's the demon. That's fun. Alright. I don't want to freak her out. I don't want this... Oh, man. I don't know what kind of demon we're dealing with. Cat talks?
Of course, silly.
Talking is simple enough, once you know how.
Amalia, you need to go back to your dad.
Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
You are correct. The demon interactions in this game are probably some of my favorite. Because you really have to think through this. I don't know what kind of demon I'm dealing with. And that demon is smart enough to know how to... It's smart enough to know how to say the things that I would want to hear in order to do what it wants me to do. But you can't get too up in your head about it, because if you get too up in your head about it, you end up tripping over yourself. The thing that you have to remember is that I have to remember I'm in control of this engagement. I'm susceptible to what this demon can do, but I need to remember answer in the ways that feel most in control by me. So let's engage it with a question and see what happens here. What have you done to her?
I have done nothing. I am all but powerless. The mage made sure of that, didn't he? I cannot leave this chamber. No, Amalia found me. After decades of isolation, her company is... welcome. It seems we are at an impasse, so let me propose a compromise of sorts. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever.
What do I get? What are you... I don't know if that's a question designed to make me think that the demon is stupid. Or what? Like, maybe you've just been locked in here for too long. I don't know how social isolation works for demons, but... What? Like, I could just leave her down here. I have all the leverage right now. What? Let you have the girl? You mean possess her?
That's such a crude way of putting it. I do not wish to harm Amalia. I merely want to see your world through her eyes. Is that so wrong?
Ooh, I could lie to it. Ooh. Let her out and then kill her? Is that so wrong? I'm not here to make a morality call on this. I do know that she's in danger, and like I've said before, talking to demons, the longer I talk to demons, the worse it is for everybody. The more precarious it is, the more likely they are to be able to wedge their way in. So I have to act as fast as possible. So I'm going to lie to it. I'll free you, and then you can have her. I'm going to attack it when I get her out.
Thank you. You are very gracious. The mage's wards hold me within this chamber, and only a mortal may approach them. There is a trick to disarming the wards, but I do not know it. Perhaps you will succeed where the girl failed.
Oh, this is so exciting! Kitty is going to be free! I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
You've agreed to free the demon and allow it to possess Alalia. Well, I'm lying to it.
I am still trapped. What is the matter?
Just need some time, man. Okay, just patience, please.
I like it when Kitty sings to me.
Alright, so let's see what we're dealing with here.
Father doesn't like cats, but he never met Kitty.
These are like dials of some sort. Okay, so floor tiles. So I'm guessing I have to get from start to finish. Okay. Oh, they slide. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in his room. Isn't that awful?
Alright, let's think through this. So this goes here.
Kitty is my best friend.
Severin, you go stand here. Liliana, you stand here. Alistair, please stand over here. Don't follow me. Okay. So, god damn it, guys. Alright, whatever. So, this, then up.
I was thinking about the sun, silly.
Oh, that's not the way.
Yes. Going. All right.
Tell me a story. Oh, it's a flower. Is it a daffodil? I like daffodils.
Do you? That's nice. Daffodils.
Yes.
I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so
And then we
perfect
only
and
have
pretty.
down, which is not particularly ideal, because I'd like to have, I need to have it go. Continue to go right. So let's go here.
Father doesn't like cats,
Up.
but he never met Kitty.
Going.
Over. Over.
All right.
Down. Over. Nice. Good,
Tell me a
Alistair.
story.
Nice, dude. This needs to be here. We need this. I need to somehow get
I was
this
thinking about
over
the
here.
sun, silly.
Look at Alistair is a knucklehead here. Who girl? Thank you for the 24 months. Alistair's fine. What a tank, man. Way to go, buddy.
I like it when Kitty sings to me.
This is not particularly intuitive, the way that you have to do this.
Tell me a story.
Going. I'm off.
Come on. Now we go. Come on. No, no. This over here. This down.
Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room. Isn't that awful?
Yes, it's just terrible.
Yes. I can feel the magic fading. Oh, I had forgotten how it feels not to be caged.
Here we go.
Kitty, what's happening?
A wonderful thing, my dear, for both of us.
I said I'd free you. Let's see. I said I'd free you. I didn't say I'd let you live.
Betrayal! You will not take the girl. She is mine.
Kitty, you're scaring me. I won't let you inside me. I won't.
What up? I love how her name is still Kitty. Oh boy. Sword of Shattered Dreams, Helm of Henleith. +2 to all attributes, +3 armor. Nice. Alright. See, I don't know that I need the mental resistance. Let's see. Helm of +2 to all attributes. It's an ugly ass helmet, man. It is such an ugly helmet. Better one than what I've got on, though. Now are you level 12? No. Zevron, let's get your constitution up, man. I don't want him to be a poison maker, but... Exploit weaknesses. Alistair. Yeah, man, I mean, there's no way I'm letting that demon possess the girl and go upstairs. Absolutely not. What on earth would I do that for? Oh, good. More shades. What the hell of a helmet that we got from her. How did the girl survive this trek up? Dangerous as shit for me, but somehow this girl's just like, nah, I'm cool. I can just run past the shades. Maybe the shades don't want anything to do with it. I don't know.
You did it! You freed her! Thank you so much!
I'm sorry I ran away, Daddy. I was so scared.
It's all right, Butterfly. You're safe now. All the bad creatures are gone. You'll need a phrase to activate Shale. It's Doolan Han. I wouldn't want the thing, but it's obvious you can handle yourself just fine. Now we should go, and quickly. Thank you again. We owe you our lives.
You're welcome. You're welcome. She's of Wilhelm's blood, being Matthias' daughter, so defenses ignore her, as his journal described. So my assumption was that only meant the boundaries. I didn't think that the shades were part of the defense system. If the shades were part of the defense system, then that makes sense. I just figured the magic barriers were the thing that she could run through. But that makes sense then, if that's the case. Alright, let's try it now. Oh, shit.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And not even a mage this time. Probably stumbled across the rod by accident, I suppose. Typical.
Hello to you too, man.
I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
Oh, you poor dear. That would be really, really boring.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
Not all of them, no.
Some got away, then. How unfortunate.
Fortunate, huh? Watch the attack?
Not as much as it would think. There was running and screaming, and then days and days of watching the Darkspawn prowl around. I would never have thought there could be something less interesting than the villagers, but there it was. Well, go on then. Out with it. What is its command?
Do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Golem. Golem, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Golem and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Golem, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I am awake, so it must.
You alright, man?
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
Interesting. I wonder if he doesn't feel a compulsion by it. Alright, walk over there.
And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is... broken?
Wouldn't you be happy about that? Well, ooh, boy. Okay, so it's... The idea that Shale would be happy about that is a bit of a human notion. If the only thing that he knows, or it knows, is that it does things when commanded, the idea that it would have free will might be terrifying, if nothing else anxiety-inducing. Because you have to think about it from his perspective. He may not like that he does the will of whomever possesses the rod. But it's also comforting to an extent because he doesn't really have to take accountability for any of his actions. He just does whatever he's ordered to do. So you present freedom and choice to somebody who's never experienced it before, and they will experience that as anxiety inducing because it's new and it's novel, and there's probably not much representation for him in terms of what that would actually mean for him. So this idea that he would be happy about it, I think, is a false assumption. It's one that comes from our own perspective as opposed to taking into account his context, which has been a general theme over the last couple episodes. You take people's context into account when you interact with them, rather than taking your own assumptions and hurling them into the conversation. So I don't really like that I'm insinuating to him that he should be happy about that, but we don't know enough about his level of distress as it relates to it, and I don't want to make an assumption. So I'm going to ask him that question because I think that's the best option we have. Alto, thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate that, friend. Shouldn't you be happy about that?
I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means I have free will, yes? It is simply, what shall I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose. I find myself at a bit of a loss. What about it? It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me?
I really actually hadn't given it much thought.
I see. Wonderful. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go elsewhere? I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
So, again, very interesting concept here of me asking, what do you want to do? That is an immensely loaded question that I actually think would need a bit of scaffolding if this was a real situation in order for Golem to be able to actually answer. Golem has never had the opportunity or the directive to engage with want. And want is a construct. I mean, it's a concept that you desire something and thus you might turn it into a goal and operationalize the steps to achieve it or to gather it. And if that's not a concept that's ever crossed Golem's mind, if I ask what do you want to do, that might further plunge him into distress. Because it doesn't have a conceptualization of that. So when I say I have to scaffold this process, I might even have to educate Golem on what want even is. What does that even mean? What even drives it? What does it connect to? What is its purpose? It just said it doesn't know what its purpose is. So to ask what it wants to do is a fascinating question. I mean, we're going to get good information if I ask that. But again, we don't have any... We're not on the same wavelength with a lot of stuff right now because of where Golem is coming from. I'm not assuming he's stupid. I'm just taking into account the fact that, like, this is a thing that has literally existed to do the will of the person holding the control rod, not to do the will of whatever it is that drives it specifically. Yeah, I mean, yet another moment in this game that is just awesome and unique. Geo Goddess, thank you for the raid. I appreciate you bringing folks over here, and I hope you had a wonderful stream. So I'm gonna ask what it wants to do. And we'll see what happens. No spoilers, Depresso.
I watched this village for so long, unable to move or act. My memories of anything before are vague at best. So I have no idea what I want to do. I'm glad to be mobile. Is that not enough?
Interesting. Okay, so in that answer, that was really useful. I'm glad we asked that, because what that tells me is that Golem is... Golem does understand the concept of want. So Golem itself is saying to me, I understand that there's a concept of want. I don't know what to engage with. as it relates to that. But I can connect with some sort of emotional experience, right? Like glad is a derivative of, I mean, I suppose contentment or happiness. So, I mean, this is really fascinating stuff. Also, I don't mind that Golem keeps calling me it, so I don't feel compelled to use this. So, you're welcome to come with me. I mean, it's not... Golem's not attacking me right now. Right? Like, so it's engaged with the fact that it doesn't have free will. Or that it has free will. And it's essentially saying to me, by not attacking me, that it's using its own free will right now to stay peaceful. Which means that maybe it was commanded to attack Matthias's father. We don't know. We don't have any context around that. Maybe with time it'll remember it. So, I mean, you're welcome to come with me, assuming you feel that that's your choice. I'm not its master. So me suggesting that I am, I think, is unfair to the context. So that's why I don't want to say this. How do I know you can be trusted is maybe slightly confrontational, but I do think it's a fair question, and perhaps it would understand and be okay with the fact that I asked that question. So maybe I'll ask it this, and then I'll tell him it's welcome to come with me.
I have no idea. How does it trust anything else without a control rod?
Very good point. Great, it's a great point.
They haven't killed it yet. I consider this a good sign.
Which is exactly what I just said about you. So you're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us? It could be dangerous and large.
I don't like any of these. I mean, Alistair's point is fair. We don't know enough about Golem. I don't like the idea of saying think of it as a portable battering ram. Although I suppose that is the case if Golem... I have to kind of headcanon this, that Golem is agreeing to come with us in the fight against the Darkspawn if it's going to come with me. Like, that Golem is consenting to what we're about. So I think it works if that's the case, because I don't like any of these options.
Good point. Better it than me, anyhow.
And especially better it than Zevran.
Then, for now. I am called Shale, by the way.
Cool. I'm Mick. Nice to meet you, Shale.
This should be interesting.
I agree. Shale, come with me. Who do I want? I'm gonna dump Zevran. I'm gonna bring Shale. Alistair disapproves. Codex updated. What can I say? I have a heart of stone. The Golems of Orzammar once made up the vanguard of the Dwarven army, holding back the tides of Darkspawn that flooded out the deep roads. But the art of making them was lost, and many of them succumbed to wear and damage in battle. Shale has no memories either of the time spent fighting in the deep roads or of coming to Hanleith. Only a few spotty and bitter recollections of its last master. Mick unearthed Shale's control rod and awakened it, adding a bitter, malfunctioning golem to the menagerie of companions. Yes, Shale is definitely hardier than Zevran, that is for sure. Neat! Alright, so let's see, let's talk to it. What's with the heavy sighs?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
You can cry. That's cool. Oh, man. I'm glad to know you care, Shale.
It's true. One single tear, and then it's off to the north, I think. Or maybe west. I haven't decided. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Oh, my God. I love it. I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
How did you end up in Hanleith? Do you remember?
Oh, yes. That I remember quite well. My former master, the mage Wilhelm, he brought
Wilhelm.
me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Golem snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
I am absolutely fascinated that the golems experience emotion. I don't know a ton about golems. We haven't had a chance to read too much about like their lore and history. But when Shale talks to us, there is real emotion. There is real conscientiousness around what it has been ordered to do. So, Shale was aware that when it was commanded to do something, it would follow through. Which would create, I think, a real disconnect with sense of self. Like, you want to talk about a consistent out-of-body experience. The idea that you could even develop a sense of self around that. Because then we have a real philosophical clash between, are you what you do, or are you what you think? Or are you both? But what if both are dissonant with each other? I think many of us would probably agree in this context that Shale is the thinker in this case. That when you are commanded to do something and you have absolutely no autonomy in that decision, the judgment you make about the things that you're doing would be more indicative of your value set, of who you are. The emotional experience that comes along with that would be that. I mean, it's really fascinating stuff, because how does a golem develop its values? Shale very clearly seemed exasperated by the fact that it had to follow these orders of snarl at that villager there, right? It even goes so far as to create a judgment about being a glorified possession. So Shale has developed its convictions relative to experiences it was commanded to do. And its autonomy, in some extent, would be fully loaded into its emotional experience and its judgments. Which means that Shale likely very fully listens to its judgments, is very quick, not quick, but like thoughtful in its opinions about stuff. Because that's what it could rely on. Because the unpredictability of what it would be commanded to do until a master established patterns would be too wonky. So what this tells me is that Shale is an immensely useful party member, because Shale's judgments on things are likely to be a lot more consistent and connected and well thought out than maybe some of the reactionary organic team members that we would have. I mean, like, it's truly fascinating to hear Golem talk about this and then say what its emotional experience is, or even show an emotional experience around it. I mean, the complexity on this is really something, and like my mind's running about 1,000 miles an hour right now while we're talking to it. Right? I would have thought you'd enjoy scaring humans as a judgment of my own. That's me suggesting that a golem should just embrace that it's scary, which is a ridiculous notion. Right? So, I don't want to make assumptions. I want to ask questions. Why were you out in front of the tower?
That is where Wilhelm kept me. He wanted me out in the open where I could be frightening like a scarecrow. I was supposed to watch for thieves. Pah! Plus, his wife didn't want me indoors. She said there wasn't room for me. Hag.
His wife?
I was once larger, 10 feet tall. Then the loathsome hag complained that I couldn't fit through the doors. So the mage had me shrunk down. Can it believe it? And she still wanted me out.
How does somebody shrink a golem?
With a chisel. And a lot of nerve.
Oh my god! Could you feel that? I have so many questions. When they were chipping at you, could you feel that? Oh my god! Wow. That's... wow. I mean, the level of powerlessness, the absolute level of powerlessness that Shale would experience. I mean, it is quite literally as if Shale had locked-in syndrome, was totally lucid, but instead of just laying in a hospital bed, had puppet strings, and people were making it do a whole bunch of stuff that was like, holy crap, man. Like, it's just there for people's amusement and to direct. Being chiseled down with absolutely no way to fight back. Like, I mean, really now we're starting to walk into, like, trauma territory. Like, Shale likely has an immense amount of trauma. And I would anticipate that Shale can experience trauma because of the fact that Shale experiences emotions, and because Shale is sentient enough to talk to us, which means that it can make sense out of the world. It has certain expectations that can be violated. I'm actually quite amazed that Shale even trusts us. Right? Like, there's such a... But think about that, right? This is all so interesting because that's how low Shale's bar is. Right? So if you spent your entire life being at the will of dwarves and humans and elves, and they tortured you, essentially, Shale's marker for whether I was safe was simply that I didn't attack outright. That I didn't do something bad immediately. The thing is that makes Shale susceptible to further abuse, because I didn't attack it because I don't know how powerful it is, and I didn't know what to expect, and I'm mostly lucky. And so that metric of safety means that I could essentially hurt it at any time. Like, Shale is in a really delicate position here because Shale doesn't have autonomy, actually. Like, or doesn't have a sense of it. Like, sure, it can connect with the fact that it's got free will right now, that it's following me, but it's still too new for Shale to really, like, engage with its autonomy. So I have an immense amount of influence on Shale, even though Shale has free will, which is going to make our interactions, I think, pretty fascinating going forward. You remember anything before Hanleith?
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
How old are you? Do you know?
I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago. I do not age as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention.
Man, yeah, that gets into the whole thing of like, if eternal life would be brutal. Like if you live that long, I can only imagine the boredom. Like the lack of novelty as time goes on. Like the passage of time itself at that point would become about the only thing that's novel. Oh man. You didn't like Wilhelm, I take it?
He did love using that control rod. Fondled it so much his wife actually threatened to throw it in the lake. Ha! I would have liked to have seen that. Which reminds me, where did it find the rod? Did it pay a great deal for it?
Not really. It was quite a bargain.
So long as it realizes that I'm inexpensive and not cheap.
That might be my favorite line in the game so far. Oh, man. I love that.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
You do. Shale disapproves. Oh, wow. Okay, so Shale takes crystals, it seems. Two armor, 30 nature, 10 physical resistance. 1 strength, 3 defense. Okay, so let's give it... Oh, neat. That's cool. Ooh. Oh, man. So you can, like, give Shale different crystals to use? That's so badass. All right, well, Shale's coming with us. And I love it. Oh, there we go. She's finally level 12. Really impressed by the variety of companions in this game. Me too. Me too. I do love too that you can hear Shale stomping around. It's fantastic. Ah, so cool. All right. What are you doing? Oh, God. What a great... Oh, man, I love it. All right. What's up, Dirk? What's up, Shale?
I see it found some augmentation crystals. I was not even aware it knew about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
What? So vanity is a thing too? Oh no, they're quite slimming.
It must be the vertical pattern it put them in. Did it know to do that? It must have. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Ah, yes!
Oh. Oh.
You're still with me, I see.
Yes. Its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect. Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go.
Ooh, now. This is one of those moments that I was talking about. My answer matters a lot here. Does it wish me to leave, though? I see no reason to go. So, if I say, no, I don't wish you to leave, there is a chance that Shale will hear that as a command. That Shale will hear it as, yes, you need to stay. So if I want to reinforce Shale's free will, which is important to me to do, then I should say do what you want. The tricky part about me saying do what you want is that it does stop me from answering the question, which could potentially make it seem like I am indifferent towards Shale, which is not true. I like Shale very much. So the way that I would ideally like to answer this is, I do not wish you to leave, but you are free to do whatever it is that you would like to do because I want to support your autonomy. That would be the way that I would like to answer this question, because we are still in a very precarious position with Shale, given how vulnerable it is, to receive feedback from others that is not a command, because that's not what Shale's used to. So, I am going to say do what you want to facilitate the autonomy.
Then I shall remain. It is too interesting to abandon for now.
Cool.
Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
Beautiful. All right. Shale approves. So there we go. So, right, like I want Shale to know and to constantly have it reinforced, as I would anybody else in this camp, that you are being here, you are here by choice. You're not here because I'm forcing you to be here. And that's ideal for us, because as soon as people feel a sense of obligation or that they are coerced into being here, I lose the extra oomph that they bring to the various interactions that we may be involved in. And I don't want to lose that. So, good. I'm glad we had that interaction. We got to learn a lot about that. Alright. Soldier's Peak. Levi offered to take you through a maze of tunnels that will lead to an old Grey Warden base with Soldier's Peak. He wishes to uncover proof that his ancestor, Sophia Dryden, was the hero her family always thought she was. I'd say we go do that. I am a big fan of our party now. Big fan of our party now. All right, Soldier's Peak. Get me more gemstones, right? We gotta get Shale decked out with glitz and glamour.
And here we are. Soldier's Peak.
Oh, damn.
Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels.
She's impressive, that's for certain.
It's just teeming with history. Can't you feel it? So, I'll follow you about, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Probably is.
Peak. Looks like it's seen better days. Better centuries, more like.
Damn. This has been a fun night. As I walk up to Soldier's Peak, I just want to say to all of you, whether you're here on YouTube or whether you're here on Twitch with me live, thank you so much for taking time out of your day or night to hang out with us. I really appreciate that all of you are here, that you spend any kind of time engaging with my content, and those of you that support the stream financially in any kind of way, thank you for that as well. I really am grateful for that. So I love this community. I love this playthrough. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. This has been an absolute blast.
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice, then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
Whoa.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
I've heard an Orlesian ballad about something like this. A beauty trapped in a dream. In the song,
Don't you dare
Belisa
sing
never
it.
wakes up.
Your prissy friend here is making me nervous, Warden. How's this even possible? The place must truly be haunted.
Unless you are going to call me and Alistair handsome and Shale glittery and fabulous, I don't need you calling Leliana my pretty friend. No need for that, friend. Alright, if you're gonna do that, you better do it for everyone. Don't just single Leliana out and call her my pretty friend. Women far too often have their first attribute pinned as their physical appearance. I know we have big giant things that we have to deal with in this tower, but this is an important point. As soon as he says your pretty friend over there, he has othered Leliana. It is a microaggression. And it's a microaggression that I, as the party lead, need to make sure that I say, unless you better start calling me handsome. Like, I could be jokey about it, right? Like, I could say, you better start calling me handsome, and Alistair handsome, and Shale glitzy and glittery and fabulous if you're going to be calling Leliana pretty. Because if you only call her pretty, and you don't say any of that shit to us, you've made it very clear that there's a line of demarcation between Leliana and the rest of this party. So be mindful of your language around this stuff. Because this happens all the time. And it may seem very innocuous, not like it's a big deal, but it is. The veil is thin here. The circle tower was that way too. The world is full of mysteries. Let's move on. I'll say the veil is thin here. The circle tower was that way too. It's true.
The veil?
separates us from the Fade and demons.
Demons? Thank Andraste you came, Warden. After you.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. All right. Check out. Oh, jeez, really? All right, we got more coming in. I just want to explore the castle, man. Alright, you know it's better when that guy comes back. Dagger. Antique Warden crossbow. That's kind of cool. I don't really know that I have anybody that needs to use it, but... Okay. I want to go check out this statue over here. New quest. Ancient history. History of the Soldier's Peak, Chapter 1. The Grey Warden base at Soldier's Peak was built in the middle of the Glory Age, several decades after the Second Blight was ended. Before then, Grey Wardens in Ferelden would take up residence in castles and forts that belonged to generous nobles. Warden Commander Gaspar Asturian desired a fortified headquarters where his forces could train and live. He planned that Soldier's Peak would be a city unto itself. The defeat of the Darkspawn and the archdemon Zezekel was fresh in the minds of the Ferelden people, and many were willing to donate gold to build Commander Asturian's fortress. Man, what better way to take advantage of people's vulnerability than to grift them after you saved them for your own personal city. Jesus Christ. Soldier's Peak was fully completed within 10 years and dedicated to the Maker in 934 glory. From the History of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. Man, I continue to not be very impressed with the Grey Wardens. Up invisible. Yeah, man, the Grey Wardens just do some shit. Their purpose is cool and all. I understand that's important to fight the Darkspawn, but when you're gonna tell me that this guy built this big-ass fucking city after they cleared it out because people were feeling particularly sentimental toward them... I always appreciate how after a serious moment you don't brush it off to lighten the mood, but we collectively sit with it for a bit until things organically move through. Your approach is cool. Well, thanks for saying that, Sylvan. I do try my best to make it seamless. We can have really cool, important conversations from these games. It's why I do what I do. I love it. So... we get so many opportunities to talk about cool stuff in these games. Some of it hits hard. You know, I love that we can flow from joking to really serious content on the fly, and What I try to cultivate.
My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up! I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving, and my great-great-grandmother stood with them.
Arland was a tyrant?
Not much is known of King Arland. The War of Succession that followed his death, now that was a piece of work. Lasted nearly a decade, and almost burned Denerim and the palace to the ground. Loads of history was lost, but maybe there's answers to that inside. But I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
Oh man, I really need more context. The last Warden Commander for Eldon Sophia Dryden. Levi wants to learn more about her life and hopes to find proof that she brought honor to her family instead of disgrace. I don't know that I feel great about this at the moment. Okay, what is this? This poster reads, "On these grounds, virtuous men stood against a tyrant. They stood defiant and stood for freedom, and they died. It is signed by the Grey Warden defenders who were besieged by King Arland's forces. Read the names of the fallen. Captain Mello, the Black Ferret, Chair Thrower Lopez, Sir Derek of Orlais, and Jason the Longbow. Alan the Quibbler, Cartography Martyr, David the Silent, Dustin the Colorblind, Ebinger the Bovine Brethren, Farrell the Feral, Sir Graham the Untiring, and Jason Sands Les Argonauts. Langley the Nefarious, Lucky Lacuna, Mad Dog Smeadows, Matthias the Bloody, McGurk the Vile Priest, Melissa the Magical Malefactor, the Stretched, and Packrat Dirksen. Sergeant Red Morrison, Santos the Silent Scimitar, Vitriolic Eric, Weak Eye Santos, and Wellburn the Exhaustive Fire. Some cool ass names, man. Everybody just, in 4th grade, everybody gave themselves nicknames, and that's just what they stuck with when they became Grey Wardens. A quick aside, so for those who are watching this on YouTube or here on Twitch that don't know this, so I grew up in Indiana, and I grew up at a time where, you know, there was still some not so great ways of teaching history, and I remember in like 4th grade, we did a unit on the Native Americans, and for whatever reason at the time, we thought it was a good idea, I guess, for all of us to self-proclaim what our Native American name would be, which is not great. Now, full disclosure, I do have Native American in my blood, so it was kind of cool for me when I was in 4th grade, but like, when I look back on it, I'm like, yikes. There's really no reason to do that. Regardless, the name that I chose was He Who Wrestles Bears, and I have never forgotten that. So if my name was on there, it'd be Dr. Mick Who Wrestles Bears. Very long story to get there, but that was my He Who Wrestles Bears. Such a stupid way to. Whatever. Okay, that's beside the point. Nice job, Indiana. The break room. Oh, good. We got rage demons in here and arcane horrors. That's exactly what I wanted to fight tonight. Unfortunate elementary school trope. Excellent name. Thank you. Rage Demons in the Break Room sounds like me on my lunch break, right? Rage Demons in the Break Room would be a good band name, too. Commander Athlar. Oh, God. This party, our party is rocking and rolling now. Oh my God. I want to know what these green wispy things are that are flying around. I'm sure we'll find out eventually, but... Lesser Spirit Balm, not interested. Weapon stand. Studded leather helm. No, don't need it. Liliana, let's go. Scale gloves, heavy chainmail boots. Neither one is useful to me.
Yes?
What do you know of this place?
Next to nothing, I'm afraid. Perhaps there is little to know about this place, or I simply have not discovered its secrets yet.
Okay. I was just trying to loot, but thanks for the conversation, Liliana.
What do you need?
Interesting that there's dialogue for Liliana there.
Don't worry, I won't be underfoot.
What now?
It's a chest. This is a neat area. I really love the design of a lot of the areas of this game. Longbow, not interested. Give me lore. Give me stuff to read. That's what I want. There we go. Archivist's book. This book is badly burned. You can make a word out here and there, and that is all.
The door won't hold, Archivist.
Almost done. The truth must be told.
What does it matter? We're dead.
Our grand rebellion so close. And to die here, a stillbirth.
We never should have done it. Wardens aren't supposed to oppose kings and princes.
Should we stand idly by?
Another one. Rebellion? What's this about a rebellion? If only the book weren't burned.
Maybe there are other records.
We can only hope.
Man, I want to know what they were rebelling against, because if they were rebelling against a really terrible and oppressive system, I'm down. If they were rebelling because they were being held accountable for their bullshit, then I'm not into this. Like, this is the importance of context, man. We just don't have enough information around this right now. So I really hope we get more about it. All right, Chapter 2. Good. Speaking of. History of Soldier's Peak, Chapter 2. As he approached his 60th year, rumors swirled that the corruption in Warden Commander Asterian's blood was beginning to take its toll. According to reports from that time, the commander experienced terrifying waking dreams and heard his name whispered from the dark corners of Soldier's Peak. It is said that Asterian would spend hours locked up alone in the great hall of the base, muttering to himself, though no one was ever able to make out what he was saying. Many also believe that Asterian began in secret to draw up plans to expand his fortress, adding to it hidden passages and alcoves, all to protect himself from the shadows that pursued him. No one knows whether Asterian was able to complete his project, for his deterioration had become obvious to anyone who spent any amount of time with him. He was quickly replaced by Warden Commander Frida Halwick. Asterian was taken to Orzammar, where he submitted to the calling, the last rite of the Grey Wardens, and went to his death with honor. The History of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar. Corruption in his blood. Well, there's obviously presence of demons here, given the fact that we're fighting rage demons. That has generally been a paper trail to larger demons, so... Man, if this place got ransacked by demons... Brutal. Demons are the real scary thing. Another book, perhaps. This looks like we're in like a Destiny dungeon where we're gonna have to like stand on these pools. Oh boy. Okay.
Make them pay for every inch, men! Hold the flank! Avernus, we need you!
Nelate Obrasov Sifan Nitbekon.
Whoa, no.
Andraste's blood? What?
More Avernus! Whatever it takes!
Oh shit, dude.
Press them! Press them now!
No! I command you, fight the king's men!
Fool! So much death, suffering, and oh yes, blood. The veil is torn now. Your soul is mine, Avernus.
Acolytes, retreat now. The battle is lost.
Avernus!
What just happened? Oh no, more fighting.
What? This is nuts. Oh man, we gotta kill the healers. Yo, we gotta kill the healers, friends. Now. What? Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Did you just keep being summoned? Alright, so I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna put Golem on that one. We'll put Liliana on this one. We'll put Alistair on this one. And then I'm gonna do this. Everything you got. Everything you got, friends. There we go. Alright.
The Wardens summoned demons. Can't believe it. And my grandmother, she knew.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wardens don't forbid blood magic, anything it takes to win. Well, that's not great, given our entire experience in the tower. She was fighting for her life. We must press on. I am inclined to say she was fighting for her life because I think that's true. It's probably the most empathic response, and we don't need to get into the minutia with this guy right now.
I believed that my family was better than that. But answers may lay up ahead.
Yeah. Prepare your ass for some disappointment, I think, man. I mean, I don't know. We got real demons afoot, but if they were summoned by blood mages that were chilling here, not great. We are not in good territory here. It's got a little magic ward on it. I love how this like suit of armor is just like laying against the wall. It's just so good. So good. Alright, let's see what's in here. This is not gonna be... Oh, hello there, Sophia, who is apparently somehow still alive. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna go ahead and loot. Okay.
Step no further, Warden. This one would speak with you.
Now, again, I have long said, we do not want to engage with demons for any longer than we need to. So I might ask like one question, but it's time to freaking attack. I'm not about to be manipulated. I would love to send Levi out of the room here. Because this is Levi's blood. This is somebody that he's been looking for. And he is compromised in this position. Like, the most vulnerable person in our party right now is the guy who brought us here. Because he's literally seeing his flesh and blood. And even though it's possessed by a demon, that demon is going to know how to exploit that vulnerability. So I've got to take control here, and I have to do it fast. Because this is a really terrible situation. Why should I speak with you?
Because this peak is mine. This one is the Dryden, Commander, Sophia. All these things.
Grandmother?
You have slain many of the demon ilk to get here. This one would propose a deal.
Levi, man, I think your great-grandmother's possessed.
That, or she's really let herself go. My great-grandmother is dead. I don't know what.
All right, he's got the mental fortitude for this. God. So this is okay. So I have to speak kind of meta here, because if a demon was ever going to try to get to me, I think this is one of the ways that it could do it. I am genuinely curious. Like, I have no idea what this demon's about to ask me and propose to me, and I really badly want to know. The allure to this for me is that it's remaining cryptic enough that it can engage my curiosity. If I attack, I never get to hear what the deal was, and I have to live with the fact that I never got to actually hear what it was. Even though I know that attacking right now is the right decision. Like, it does not behoove me to ask what the deal is. Because at the end of the day, these demons don't have any kind of interest other than their own self-interest. We know this. It's been clear and consistent throughout this entire run. So I have to engage in self-reflection here. This is how good this is for talking about these types of things. Is I so badly want to say, tell me about this deal, but the second I do that, I am losing ground. So as hard of a decision as it is, I have to let that go, and I have to control the situation and work with a known variable, which is that I have a demon in front of me and it needs to die.
Fool!
Oh, Alistair died there? Oops. Warden. Oh, we get the armor? That armor was pretty badass. Especially the gauntlets. And because I'm vain and I want to look cool, I'm gonna wear those because they match my armor. That's what we needed to do. I'm going to talk to Levi and see what he thinks about what we just did. He's probably fine with it based on his response, but
I can't believe my great-great-grandmother was still alive. Well, sort of alive, sort of dead. I need a drink.
I hear you, man. Warden's longsword. There's got to be another book or something here for me to read. That can't be it. Yet it would seem that it is. Oh boy. Levi, buddy, watch out, man. You're not wearing any armor. I want to know what the deal was. I made the right decision. And I want to know. Don't spoil it in the comments. Don't tell me. I have to live with my consequences. Don't tell me what the deal would have been. Alchemical concoction. An old vial contains a noxious potion. No one can say how long it sat on this table. Drink the... What? No. I'm not just gonna drink that. The hell? This appears to be old research of the Mage of Avernus. They detail a series of experiments in terse clinical handwriting.
Day 32. The subject is not responding to the stimuli. Testing the pain threshold has uncovered nothing. Only 3 subjects are left. Day 82. If only I could reproduce last night's extraordinary success. Electricity is only a catalyst. The blood is the key. Day 97. Energy and blood. Repeated applications have duplicated the results. I conjecture that success can be induced alchemically. But there are no more subjects left. If only I had 1 more, or a dozen. The things I could do.
Not great. Now, I don't know if he... I don't know if he was experimenting on Darkspawn or humans. Oh boy. I don't know that I want to drink this. I would never drink, in a million years I would never drink this. Alistair. Have a drink. What do you think, big guy? Oh, you can't. Promises to unlock the hidden potential of the tainted blood you drank during the joining. Unlock the potential. That sounds very blood magey, doesn't it? That's literally what Aldred said when we were up in the tower. He's like, we could unlock our full potential. Potion appears the culmination of Avernus' horrific research. Would make you more Darkspawn? No idea, but we're gonna destroy it. Ah, bitch. Stupid vial.
I hear you. Don't disrupt my concentration. Even now, the demons seek to replenish their numbers. Are you to thank for this welcomed but temporary imbalance?
I'm not going to attack him immediately. We're going to slow play this. The old Warden Mage, you're still alive?
Only just. I have only a short time left.
Careful. This man has dabbled in matters forbidden by the Maker. He may look frail, but don't trust him.
So the Maker told you that, did he? Short-sighted men have forbidden my research, not any god. Enough. Why are you here? What is your intent?
So I'll say this at the outset before I know exactly what he was doing, that unethical research is I believe, pretty fascinating concept. Because there are some things that we have learned over time that are actually useful, but were derived from unethical research. We've talked about this in playthroughs before. But there are many controls in place nowadays that are designed to make sure that when people conduct research, particularly on human subjects, that it is done with a high ethical standard. That people know what they're consenting to, that there is as minimal amount of coercion as possible. There's things to protect the subjects. not too long ago, that was not really the case. There were experiments that were, by today's standards, very unethical. I will use the Milgram experiment as an example, that we wouldn't be able to do research like that today. I understand there are flaws with the Milgram experiment. I know that there is some degree of like pushback on the Milgram findings and stuff like that, but for argument's sake, we did learn some very interesting things about power and authority and the ability to get people to move past their limits from an experiment like that. So are the findings from that useful? Yes. Is conducting unethical research good? No. So what a lot of people who do unethical research will say is that the end justifies the means. My guess would be that this guy is going to have some sort of argument that states that what he found out was worth the sacrifice all along the way. The reality is, there are some questions that are better left unanswered if it means that we avoid unethical, harmful research. But saying that as an absolute is even a little bit tricky, because there is always the do you sacrifice the few to save the many? There's no like perfect straight and narrow line answer on these things. So this conversation is likely going to be quite interesting. At least I hope it is. We work hard to create better ethical standards for research, and sometimes that means missing out on finding things out more quickly. But I do think it's the task of researchers to develop more sophisticated research design that can still get us to learn stuff, but is done in a more sophisticated and ethical way. That's the task, is do better research rather than cutting corners. Anyway, I'm just waiting for this guy to say the end justifies the means. Why are you here? What is your intent? I want answers.
To what questions, I wonder? Ask.
I don't know how truthful he's going to be, but how have you survived these years?
The Chantry foolishly forbids blood magic, but there are so many secrets to uncover. As my body decayed, I found ways to extend it. But that can only go so far.
Okie, what happened here?
What use would storytelling serve? The tyrant Arland is long dead, as is all our noble co-conspirators and the Grand Rebellion. Sophia's corpse may walk and talk, but she, too, is no more.
How was Arland a tyrant?
He ruled with fear and poison, his treachery pit noble against noble in terrible battle. We thought him a monster. We gathered allies to rebel. But the toll of years has erased our failure, hasn't it? It seemed so pressing then. But the kingdom lives on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have a ton of sympathy for noble on noble conflict. Like, that doesn't... That's not gonna win me over. Yeah, the kingdom lives on because your stuff probably wasn't that important in the grand scheme of things. What happened to the rebellion?
Too many mouths to quiet. Even sorcery can only go so far. So we met with Tyrn Kuzland. With him on our side, we had a chance of victory. Instead, the King's Guard ambushed us. Commander Dryden and I barely escaped.
Practice blood magic on the nobles?
Of course, to nudge people to keep our secrets safe. Sophia should have let me nudge harder. Her scruples were her undoing.
Oh my god. You had to know that summoning so many demons was foolhardy.
Perhaps, but it was survival. For months, I prepared the summoning circles, researched the darkest depths of the Fade. That moment was a triumph of demonic law. Dozens of demons, called by my hand. But with so many variables, I suppose, calculation errors were inevitable. Ugh. I was so close.
Now, as we always try to do, try to find empathy. All right, even though this guy appears to be overtly evil, let's dig in for a second, because what he's saying does make sense. If they were desperate, if they really believed that they were in trouble, that their way of life was over, that things were going to be terrible, that the king was tyrannical, or whatever. When people are threatened like that, they will employ what they know. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Does that make the means okay? Not necessarily. However, like when we talked about Aldred back in the Circle Tower, this guy was just doing what he thought he needed to do in order to help him and the people that he cared about survive. And I truly believe that is something that many of us can connect with and understand. Most of us do not understand the extent of our limitations and how far we are willing to go past the boundaries we think we have until we're under the right amount of duress. And I certainly hope that nobody here ever has to be under that type of duress. The amount of times as a therapist over my many years of being a therapist that I have heard people say things like, I never thought that I would ever get this far past my boundaries. I can't even count. So when you're under immense duress, you have a certain type of representation, you have limited information, you will resort to things like this. He legitimately thought, if I can raise demons and get them controlled and get them on our side, we stand a chance at survival. And if it's that or death, it would make sense why he would resort to that. Ethics and morality kind of goes out the window when you've got the metaphorical barrel of a gun facing you. So this guy was doing what he could. I can empathize with that. At the same time, we're not in that time period anymore, so I have to work with what the deal is now. And the deal now is that there are abominations and demons in this area, and that's not good. So I have to deal with that rather than the intentions from the past. And that is absolutely correct, Dio. All right. So you're to blame for this. Some things you just don't do, man. I mean, but I don't know that I believe that. Like, I actually think that the only reason I would even click that is because of the persuade next to it, and I'm not going to make a decision just because of that. I'm going to say you sound proud of your actions.
My only regret is that it failed, and that I never had a chance to make Ireland pay.
Man, so, okay. So this was literally, in some ways, I guess, personal spite? Like, I mean, ugh. Andrew Dryden knew of the demons?
She gave the order. I would have summoned the demons anyway. Only under Wardens can true magical research continue. A chance to rediscover the secrets of ancient Tevinter.
Oh, man. Oh, man. No, this all makes sense. This all makes sense. Holy shit, this all makes sense. Oh, my God. Okay. All right. We gotta work with the world we're in, okay? Dryden was possessed by a demon. There is a really good chance that it was a pride demon. That pride demon, by taking control of Dryden, would very easily be able to stoke this guy's ego to where he would be willing to push past and use blood magic and do a whole bunch of unethical and terrible shit because the demon knows that it would cause absolute havoc and chaos and problems. This guy very well could have been hijacked by the will of a pride demon. He's a pawn in the demon's whatever its directive is. Like, it makes it infinitely more messed up because it makes him a tragic figure to an extent. Like, we literally have read in the Codex that a pride demon is the most dangerous thing that you can come across. And what we're seeing from this guy is pride. I would have summoned these demons anyway. I'm proud of the fact that I was doing this research. I got to do this thing to protect the people and to go after this guy that I thought was tyrannical. Like, he's engaged with a sense of pride and self-directiveness. And so if Dryden gave him the go-ahead, that's social support from his environment that is already perceived to be under siege. That demon would know exactly how to get to him on that. I don't know what kind of deal it proposed to Dryden in order to possess her, or if she even had the ability to make that call, or if it just showed up and grabbed a hold of her. I don't know if he was summoning demons before that and then it took Dryden. But there is an absolute possibility that this guy is being puppeteered by a demon, because we just ran into that demon in Dryden's body a couple rooms ago. Right? Now, all of a sudden, where does the accountability lie? Do we look at this guy and punish him for the actions of the demon? I don't know, because it depends then on how much we want to weight his autonomy and our belief that people should be able to fight against demons. But we know that they can't. Right? That, like, it takes the most ungodly amount of mental fortitude to be able to fight a demon. And that most people are not very well equipped to do it. And he, being a mage, would be more akin, I think, to understanding what a demon was doing if it tried to possess him. So what better way to do it than to circumnavigate him, hit Dryden, who is not a mage, and then bend him to your will via Dryden instead of confronting him directly. It would make it seem so much more natural to him that this is something that's allowed. It would stoke that via proximity rather than directly. At the end of the day, this guy did engage with his sense of pride. He did look at her directive and say, okay, I'll do it. He did say, I would do this regardless. So ultimately, he is still responsible. The whole I was just following orders is not a sufficient excuse for his behavior. It does add that layer of complexity and drama to this, though. Holy crap. Alright, do you remember how that ended? The Black City, Darkspawn?
Chantry lies told to subjugate the mages, to keep them docile.
I don't know that I can totally back up the chantry here, so this is a line of questioning I don't know that I'm interested in going on. You're to blame for this, man. Or a demon is.
From a warden, that means something. So tired, so old. Let me undo my greatest of mistakes. Let me cleanse this place. Then I will accept whatever justice you feel I merit.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Here we are again. For the third goddamn time with a blood mage. Dude, this is wild to me. That this is just such a pattern. That, like, blood mages think they can just do whatever they want and then atone for it afterwards. Like, it's like the ultimate, like, let's see what happens and then I'll just undo it and everybody will think it's fine. This is the third blood mage that did dumb shit and then said to me, let me atone for my actions. How am I supposed to trust him? It's like to be a blood mage, you have to, like, go to the school of beg for forgiveness instead of permission.
So be it. My only request, If justice or vengeance drive you, stay your hand until the demons are dealt with.
Till the demons gotta be stopped, man. Knock it off.
We must go to the Great Hall. There, I will repair the damage I caused so long ago. There will be peril. The demons will fight us every step of the way. Come.
Okay, so, you know, I gotta say, though, I understand that this has to happen from, like, a video game standpoint, because otherwise you'd just be sitting in this room forever. His turnaround that quickly, I think, is a bit ridiculous. You know, when he says, oh, coming from a warden, oh, oopsie, you're right. I haven't seen a Grey Warden that's been alive for a very long time, so you guess you're probably right. I mean, that's like total, like, warden supremacist. And even that, I don't even think it fits into that. I mean, it's just, it's a little quick. Regardless, fine. I don't have a choice of him atoning for his actions. I actually don't know the extent to which I would have allowed him to go on like this, but... First, I want to see if there's any lore for me to read. Any at all. None? Nothing? I want to know what his experiments were. I really wish I could ask him what his experiments were.
What now?
Oh my god!
Yes.
Wait, there's chapter 4. We never got chapter 3. I need chapter 3. Also, this room is awful. Look at all this shit. What the hell were you doing in here, man?
We must hurry.
Chat, if anybody knows where chapter 3 is, I would appreciate if you... Oh, here we go. No. Avernus's notes. Oh, shit, I missed that completely. The taint allows us to sense the darkspawn. The longer we survive with the taint in our blood, the more potent it becomes. Unfortunately, this corruption will eventually overwhelm the warden. Over time, it devours both mind and body, leaving nothing. But what if the spread of the corruption could be stopped or contained in some way? What if the warden could become more powerful without having that power kill him? How great would that power be? Would it be enough to stop the demons? The joining ritual is crude. We take into ourselves the blood of the darkspawn in the most obvious way. Most die from the corruption immediately. It is, after all, poison. There must be some way to refine the joining, isolate the true power that is found in darkspawn blood, and leave behind the evil that kills us. I can feel the corruption starting to take toll on my body. I must not succumb. There's too much work to be done. Through my magic, I've been able to slow its inevitable spread, but not stop it completely. I am starting to hear things, even while awake. A voice, more beautiful than any other, that calls me from the depths. In my dreams, I see the Black City, and I am drawn towards it. There is something there, an answer to what the taint is, this taint that we share with the Darkspawn. Wow. Okay, so I don't know if he succeeded in that, but that is an interesting thought. Like a really interesting thought. Obtained from the raspberry jam located on the shrine just up the steps of Soldier's Peak's 2nd floor. Man, so we might have missed. I'm gonna hope we can grab it. I don't want to read chapter 4 until we have chapter 3.
We must act quickly. The demons are clawing on the gates. The veil must be closed.
What do I do?
I will unravel the summoning circles I drew so long ago. Waves of spirits and demons may come through. Dispatch them. I will begin. First, I must summon the magical energies. I feel them. They're coming.
Okay. Are they coming hard or early or late? Oh, okay. All right, we'll wait. Where is... Okay, wait, is the raspberry jam thing a joke? I really want to find chapter 3. It's copied directly from the wiki. Am I in the correct room? Because I don't see raspberry jam. And we're on the second floor. There is a bottle of jam. What the hell? Go up the stairs in the next room? Tab key will highlight things that you can interact. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Oh, well that's ridiculously useful. Oh, there it is, raspberry jam. All right, we got it. We got it. All right, after Asturian's death, the rumors and theories became increasingly outlandish. One of the more ridiculous rumors told of Asturian's infatuation with an elven princess of lore, whom he was trying to resurrect in a secret ritual chamber through the use of blood magic and the princess's favorite food, raspberry jam. Warden Commander Frida Halwick launched a thorough investigation into Asturian's secret plans, but was unable to uncover any evidence that anything in Soldier's Peak had been changed. Commander Halwick declared that the rumors about Asturian were a slight on his memory, and that if anyone found repeating them would be harshly punished. The stories were thus silenced. In the history of the Grey Wardens. All right, got that. Chapter 4. There was one mystery, however, that persisted, and this mystery perplexed even Commander Halwick herself. When Commander Asturian went to his calling in the deep roads, he did not have in his hand his sword, Asturian's might, forged for him by dwarven smiths and presented to him upon the completion of Soldier's Peak. Nor did he pass the sword on to his successor or to any other Grey Warden. While some maintained that Asturian had simply destroyed the sword in his dotage, others believed that he had stashed it away somewhere in Soldier's Peak. One young warden claimed that Asturian had once grabbed him by the shoulders, fixed him with an unwavering gaze, and said, "The sword will remind you what it is to be warden. Speak your oath to me when the shadows come. You must speak the words." What this was supposed to mean was never clear. So there's a sword around here somewhere, eh? Dude, this tab thing is clutch. Sophia Dryden's journal. 21 Eleviesta. It is done. The nobles have thrown their lot in with Arland. Arland, the snot-nosed man-child. Arland, who did not walk till he was in his 5th year. Arland, who had to be pried off his nursemaid's breast not 2 years ago, or so it was whispered. Tyrans and the Arls believe him to be a simpleton and easily led, but I have seen something in the boy's eye, and it terrifies me. 10 Molioris. I watched the summer day processions from a room high in Fort Dracon. The Regent has me for treason, when my only guilt is of being true to my country and my heart. My guard's tongue was easily loosened with the gift of a ruby ring, and I am told that the bands are fighting against my sentence. I shall pray, but not hope that it will be anything but the gallows for me. 2 for Ventus. The drought was like bitter fire, but I survived. Or is it the draft? Draft? Whatever. Weep for me, for I survived. Would that they had made a clean end for me. I should have died a lady, the greatest of the Drydens, not lived to become this nothing, this monstrous nothing. 19 Matronalis. Enough. I shall waste no more time with wretched womanish lamentation. Death would have been easy, but fate saw fit to spare me, and I will seize upon this chance. The Grey Wardens are an army, and the old commander is weak, a wisp of a man. I will inspire the Wardens, and Ireland will rue the day he spared my life. Characters. Sophia Dryden. Sophia Dryden is Ferelden's light, and her most brilliant jewel. Nothing on this earth can ever quench her fire. Arlessa Sophia Dryden was the young Arlen's rival for the throne of Ferelden. Dryden was a strong and charismatic leader with much support from the Benorn. When Arlen finally won the crown, Dryden refused to relent. She pushed her claim, was caught, and accused of treason. Her sympathizers continued to support her, however. In order to appease them, Dryden was spared execution and forced to join the Grey Wardens instead. Dryden survived the joining and dazzled the Grey Wardens at Soldier's Peak with her leadership skills and charm. She eventually rose through the ranks to become the Warden Commander of Ferelden. Before Commander Dryden, the Grey Wardens were seen as a relic of an older time and an unnecessary drain on the nobles' coffers. Dryden, though, with her political connections, reinvigorated the Wardens and rapidly increased their numbers. In the meantime, King Arlen proved himself a devious king, willing to go to brutal lengths to silence his opponents. Arlen's reign of terror grew worse with each passing year, and some of the bands approached Commander Dryden in desperation, begging her to intercede. She agreed, and thus was a rebellion against King Arlen born. Arlen learned of the rebellion and took steps to end it. He publicly suspended all tithing to the Grey Wardens and declared that they were no longer welcome in Ferelden. Some of the Wardens, mindful that they were supposed to remain politically neutral, felt disgraced by Dryden's involvement in Ferelden politics and left her side even as the king's forces lay siege to Soldier's Peak. The siege took months and ended with the death of Sophia Dryden. From the personal files of Levi Dryden, merchant. Addendum. King Arlen had driven the Grey Wardens from Ferelden, and after siege of Soldier's Peak, the base was abandoned. When Soldier's Peak was finally entered again for the first time in centuries, it was discovered that Sophia Dryden had become possessed by a demon. Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. Sir? Oh shit, you can look at these? You found an old painting, one dating back to Commander Asturion's times. Perhaps Asturion's history points to this. Recite the Grey Warden Oath.
Yes.
Well, there it is. +2 damage, weakens enemy nearby darkspawn. Oh shit. Heavy plate armor, shadow belt, master hail rune. Ooh, +20 physical resistance. Holy shit. Well, that's neat. I don't know that that's a better... It's not a better sword than what I currently have, but perhaps Alistair? Duncan's sword is actually better than this too. Wow. Oh wait, I have way too much shit in here again. Alright, now this is a problem. That I can't talk to him. I might have to reload. Kinda hoping that's what I have to do. This is a common bug? Is there a workaround? Maybe if I leave the area and come back in? Avernus is supposed to summon demons now. He's definitely not doing that. Oh, here we go. Okay.
We must act quickly. The demons are clawing on the gates. The veil must be closed. I will unravel the summoning circles I drew so long ago. Waves of spirits and demons may come through. Dispatch them. I will begin. First, I must summon the magical energies. I feel them. They're coming.
Well, I don't really know what to do. 'Cause if he's supposed to start summoning demons and he's not doing that, we got a real problem here. Maybe if I do this. Well, I'm gonna have to maybe look into how to fix this. Try 10 to 24 by 768 resolution and ticking VSync. Are you serious? Multiple reloads or physically blocking the AI pathing seems to work. Another person says going back to camp and returning to the peak makes it work. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do then, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to save. And I'm going to load my quick save. And then we're going to go in, and let's see what happens.
We must act. The veil must.
Resolution. If you save while he's walking and then reload, he'll be walking when you load up and get to the right spot. Okay. All right, so if I hit pause when he starts walking, or I save when he starts walking.
The veil must be closed. I wait.
Hey! Good shit. Nice job, team. Start attacking me, please. Oh boy, Ashraith. Oh boy. Woo. Oh shit! Desired. Oh, it's a desire demon. Okay. Desire demon had a lot of gold on her.
It's over. The veil is strong now. Stronger, at least. I said I'd submit to judgment. And so I shall. Can I be left to experiment in peace?
What? You... Oh, man. I mean, I don't know that killing him is useful. I mean, here's the thing. Again, to call back to that moment we had where I was talking about the research. I could hold him to a higher ethical standard. I don't know that I can trust him to do that. However, he did just follow through on his atonement here. I mean, what good does it do? I mean, I guess if I kill him, then that for sure makes sure that he... I mean, I could exile him too. I don't know. No, I don't want to... Exile... Okay. Exile feels terrible. Exile seems like a really misguided choice in my mind. Because this guy clearly cares about the Grey Wardens and, like, the Grey Wardens only. He literally turned on a dime as soon as a Grey Warden, said this is your fault. If I exile him, I think he's more dangerous than if he stays here. Like, if he stays here and he has a sense of purpose and he saw that a Grey Warden spared him and then he's told very clearly, you bet you can do research to help us, but do it ethically or else I'm going to kill your ass. I think that gives him a lot more of a directive that he can sink his teeth into. Exiling him, who knows where he's going to go, what he's going to do, what kind of harm he's going to cause. He's essentially an old man without a purpose if we cast him out. So sure, that's punishment to him because he doesn't get to be around the Grey Wardens, but I don't trust that for a second. So his ass better atone, and if you don't atone, I'm coming back to kill you.
With what time I have left, I will do this. It may take months or years for my research to reach fruition. When it does, I will send for you. Thank you for this. Warden.
You've done it, Warden. Soldier's Peak is safe again. That old geezer of Avernus deserves the gallows if you ask me, but people will do queer things to survive. But if he does the proper research, without the sacrifices and blood magic and all, maybe he'll turn up something good. But there was no proof to redeem my family.
The past won't offer redemption. Try the future instead. I like that. Stop your belly aching. Your grandmother I'm not sure about, but you're a good man. I don't know him well enough to say that. The past won't offer redemption. Try the future instead.
For so long, I was focused on the past, on answers. But I think I would have been better off had I stayed at home. Enough of that, though. I find myself at a loss. You've got a whole fortress now. I suppose I should start plying my trade again.
People get stuck in the past often as a way to avoid the actual influence they have in the present. The only way that you can influence the future is when you decide certain actions in the here and now. No matter how long you spend going back into the past, trying to find answers, there is no amount of energy that you can give the past that will allow you to change what happened. You can change the frame you use for the past. You can change the way that you make meaning out of the past, but you cannot change what happened. You can influence the future, but you do it through the present. And so many people avoid the accountability and the responsibility of that by staying too far in the past, and will often say they can't help it. Yes, you can. So this guy realizing that and saying, all right, I'm going to focus on what I can do now. I'm going to focus on how I influence the future going forward. I'm going to accept the past for what it was and use what I learned from the past to make better decisions now. That's the best thing that any of us can do. So if you're a person that floats way too far into the past and tries to mentally manipulate things that happened in the past thinking that that's going to change the present moment, it's not. The only way you change the present moment is to influence it now. And you can make for better things going forward by doing that. Where will you go?
I might use the peak as a base of operations. So many bandits about, but none would dare come here. Nice place to store trade goods. You, of course, will get a sizable discount.
Looks like we're done here. A demonic invasion thwarted, a warden base safely rescued. We do good work.
I will miss this place. It was infested with spirits and undead, but it had no birds. Not a single one of those malicious, spiteful little demons.
Oh man, Shale.
Once my family comes, I might have some merchandise you could buy. Might tidy the place up a bit too. Well, my nephews will.
Oh, I love me some Shale, man. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. No birds here. Nope. No siree, Bob. F them birds. Good stuff. Well, hey, YouTube, thank you so much for making it this far. I hope you enjoyed tonight's exploits. I certainly did. I am always grateful that you make it all the way to the end of these videos, and as always, on your way out, please make sure that you leave a like on the stream, maybe even leave a comment. It really helps with the algorithm. The best way that you can support this channel is to follow it and is to tell people about it, and I really appreciate those of you that have done that. I really hope you're enjoying this. I assume you are if you've made it this far, so thank you for that. If you ever want to catch us live, as always, on Twitch, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you're binging, I'll see you in part 16. If you're waiting for the next episode to come out, as always, we'll try to get it out as soon as we can. But I appreciate your support so much, and if you support the stream in any way financially, whether it's through being a member on YouTube, whether it's subscribing to my Twitch channel, or whether it's by purchasing merchandise or listening to my music, thank you very much for doing that as well. But more than anything, thanks for being here. It means a lot. I will catch you in part 16.